every morning, got my coffee in my hand. I got a list of leads to follow, got an email to send. My inbox is my battlefield, my emails are my artillery. Every email that I send, it's another step to victory. From a zero to a million, watch me multiply. With every cold email I send, I see the potential in the sky. Persistence is my ally, determination in my veins. I'll reach a billion people, breaking all the chains. Oh yes, I'm scaling up, reaching all the leads as I please. From zero to a billion, it's a journey I embrace. With each email that I send, I'm conquering the inbox space. Ooh, yes, I'm scaling up, reaching all the leads as I please. From a zero to a billion, it's a journey I embrace. With each email that I send, I'm conquering the inbox space. Drafting lines with precision, subject lines that intrigues and trips the mind. I personalize, optimize, make them easy to read. Automation at my fingertips, scaling up with ease. I'm part of No Limit Emails family. I have a big dream. From zero to all the millions, watch me multiply. With every cold email I send, I see the potential in the sky. Persistence is my ally, determination in my veins. I'll reach a billion people, breaking all the chains. Oh yes, I'm scaling up, reaching all the leads as I please. From a zero to a billion, it's a journey I embrace. With each email that I send, I'm conquering the inbox space. Ooh, there's an inbox out there waiting for a spark. In the silence of the internet, I'll leave my mark. Innovation is my compass, growth my guiding star. From local to global, I will decide who I want to reach as I wish. Oh yes, I'm scaling up, reaching all the leads as I please. From a zero.
All right, welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday evening. Let me get rid of that. Hopefully, you like that old style anthem song. Welcome, Barbara. Good evening. Howdy to you. Good to see you. Hopefully, my audio work. Hopefully, this time I'm not that much delayed. I know still a little bit, but eventually we will move to the Meet tool when we get things in place. Hopefully, that will help us have a more direct stream. And that being said, welcome. Good evening, all. As usual, this is Evan, and we will do the part 2 this evening about lead capture and everything else. We will continue where we left off from yesterday's stream. Very good. Silly, silly and good. Yeah, that's true. That was good. So, that being said, we will get cracking with that just a moment. As usual, welcome everyone who's joined us new, and we do appreciate you guys putting your trust in us to build the server for you and obviously serve you what we say in our site. Uh, and that uh, Making that choice really and deciding to join us, guys, you are definitely putting us in the kind of like your spotlight, and we will do our best to get your account to you as soon as humanly possible. But for us, in order to do that, we need you to add your domain to the Cloudflare. It's a very simple process you can follow. And if you have any difficulties, just reply to my email or just jump on one of those live rooms that we have. And on screen, I can help you to do it in a few minutes and without any hassle. But if you already know a little bit about Cloudflare, and there's another way that you can also allow us to install the system for you, simply just add your domain in there, select the domain that you want to use, tell us the name, and send us your API key for your Cloudflare, and we will do the rest. The reason that we really work with Cloudflare is safer for us and safer for you guys, as we do not want affect your current setup, and as well as we don't enter your databases or your servers, and everything's done in our end via Cloudflare. So imagine Cloudflare is literally like escrow between us and you, and all our entities goes through the Cloudflare. And also for safety and security reason, we use Cloudflare. As you all know, whole world internet is on Cloudflare. And that being said, when you done that, just please reply to the email or jump one of the chat rooms that we have or the group, and make sure that you also join No Limit Emails Facebook groups, well as Telegram chat group, well as WhatsApp if you want to. And of course, the best way to do this is really join in one of our live rooms that which is they are on always, guys. So that being said, in this period, please be patient. We do not do the favors. Uh, Basically, if you are in the first spot to be kind of released is first come first serve basis. That's what we do, guys. But generally doesn't take too long to get your accounts to you guys. Really is up to you. If you provide the domain quick as you can in the Cloudflare and give us Cloudflare access, and quickly we can do and give you your account. So when you get your account, and once more, please just follow the guide that we give you as for first basically your 30 emails, but really 30 days after that really you are all good to do what you want to do with your system. And this 30 days period is not an IP warm-up, guys. It's not SMTP warm-up. It's not an inbox warm-up. This is simply is just subdomain maturing period, guys. Because we create a subdomain, everything gets installed on there and is brand new, and we require a little bit of time, well as Google or others requires a little bit of time to really know and trust this entity that basically process and sends lots of emails. And of course we have done all sort of physical tests about this. We don't run challenges, we done basically test counts. Literally, if we don't follow that 30 days, it's get difficult, guys. You can get blocked. You also the things can happen, and we don't want any of that stuff happen. So over a period of time, we learned our lessons, guys. We tune the machine in the way it's working, the way that we follow things along, and it's just amazing. So long as basically you don't kind of run before you walking, so to speak, everything should work for you as intended. So that being said, congratulations to all of you that had your accounts today. I know there was few guys we released today, and do apologize once more. Yesterday's release counts, guys, I wanted to talk to you, but at that time we were doing kind of new server setup for the live element, so we were shut down for a while yesterday, and we are back as to the normal, and is very stable so far. I'm sure the other room's been on since we kind of switched on again. So is everything stable on the live element side of things. And as well as emailer, I will show you just a moment my own kind of experimental case study site that I've been running on No Limit email servers, and as well as kind of I really push a lot. But this evenings, as we are interested kind of how to capture emails with our systems, and as well as comply with basically DPDI, DPA, GDPR, CAN spam, you name it, whatever it is, the regulations out there for each different country, different zones, they all different. But when you comply with one, you literally comply with all. And so far, we have had no issues with GDPR or anything else, guys, because literally everything is authenticated and run with authentication and is run with basically trackable stuff that basically if Google want to track me and my email, whatnot, they can. And that's basically what happens in the behind the scene. Whole the setup is geared up to communicate with the rest of the world, as we've proven this over a period of time, and as well as literally billions of emails sent, guys. So we are kind of increasing really volumes on day-to-day basis, guys. Even some cases, literally minute-to-minute basis, the numbers are growing quite interesting. So let's get rid of this and let's get a system up, and we will continue where we left off yesterday. So for this evening, by the way, I've been doing some tune-up and cleaning up my own kind of like stuff in here on this system, but lately I kind of start getting in a little bit more leads in and whatnot. So the lead capture, once more to just recap yesterday, literally to do the lead capture we need a kind of all the elements that are there. And the components that we used yesterday, obviously we created the form and we created a landing page, and this evening we can look into the asset as well as dynamic content. So the next bit of this kind of like on-screen doing stuff and sharing with you what you can do with, let's actually also look at in different elements here in the components what really they are. So the asset is literally, let's actually make one for this evening and let's just create one. So like anything else, as you can see, you can make assets and upload kind of your PDF file. And you have two ways that you can do that. So you can add a remote link from Google Doc or whatever it is you're holding this asset to be delivered, or Dropbox, or your own website, so to speak. But internally in here, you can do it everything internally without actually any external stuff. So in local, we just simply create a title for this one. Let's call this one giveaway ebook. I don't know. I'm just gonna put like few numbers in here, so I know I can delete this. And category, you can create category according to the setup you have, automation. You can do that. You can publish and publish time, and also you can block search engine, which is I do in most cases for my assets, and I just block the search engines for indexing this. But if it's an ebook, obviously you're selling, if you want to index it, that you can do, and that's basically it. So what you want to do is literally, without saving, we're gonna click in here and we're gonna drag a PDF in here. Hopefully I will find one, just to give me a second. So we will be also utilizing this obviously through your automation. I'm just going to add this email reporting, so we save. So now we have this URL. Let's get back obviously into the other part. So what happens is when you create a asset, so if you send this link to someone, let me just copy this so I can show you. I'm going to show this incognito so you see that I'm not logged into the system. So if somebody, imagine you sending this to someone, they are going to click. But as soon as they click, I'm going to add that URL here and press enter, and it will go and basically download, and it's downloaded that thing for me. So it's very, very interesting, guys, because it's almost instant download. This came already. So when soon as somebody click on that, you're going to get that download. Obviously within your system, if you click on it like this, you can also see the download happening here, guys, and as here is downloaded. So this is very, very nice bit of function that, especially when we are lead capturing, and obviously you want to kind of gift people, deliver something, deliver lessons, private documents and things like that. This is very handy. So part of obviously forms, landing page, dynamic content, which is kind of, you can see the four elements, they are in the same place and they all work with together. And the next thing we want to look is literally the dynamic content. So let's also create one of them. We didn't do this yesterday. So dynamic content, as you can see in here, is very similar UI. Everything starts with this new button tab, and let's call this one basically. Let's call this one testing a campaign. I don't know. I'm just gonna put some numbers in this in here, guys. So to just, I know they are not important, so I can delete them. So in the content builder in here, as you can see, our UI is changed, our build is changed. So there are so many things you can do in here. In this dynamic content, you could represent whole website if you want to. You can write something physically, like paste code or whatever it is you want to do in this dynamic content. It's just like you was with what you see, what you get editor, like kind of Word document. So you can see what you can do. If you got a domain that you want to use, get your source code, select the source code, paste in, and click OK. You should have whole page as your dynamic content. And also, of course, you can add images, clickable images, and things like that within your dynamic content. The whole idea for dynamic content is to make the files, big files, huge images, and things like that, compressed, so the other basically browsers and inbox providers sees it as dynamic content, doesn't see it as kind of weird type of content. So basically, a good tool, good function for you to have a clickable images on the pages and things like that. But for us, really, we don't want people clicking on anywhere on the landing page. And so the whole goal is on the landing page, basically get them to opt in. So as less distraction that we have on the landing page works better. It's just logic. So you can basically add anything you want, like you can browse. So if I want to add an image, obviously if you haven't uploaded an image, for example, you can upload the image, and the images, as you can see, they don't have to, they're all different sizes, but as you can see, don't make them too huge, guys, but generally you can make quite lots of them and you can upload a lot. As you can see, this is quite massive image, and the way that you can change really big image sizes, you can just unblock this key and punch in some sort of numbers in here. Let's just make this 450 by 400 or something, and then click OK, and you see now you have this light up. If you want to move it to center, you center it, and if you want to click and add a link to it, so if this was a redirectable link you want to use, that you can also do that. And of course in here you can also see we're creating dynamic content, and here is it part of the based on a campaign. Then you can select the campaign source, then you can see what kind of campaign you're running for the specific forms. You can basically change your UTMs if you have Google UTM and you want to track the kind of content you're producing, but do not worry, even if you do not have them internally, you have the tracker basically for your clicks and everything else. You still can get that analytics and data, what happens with this kind of stuff. So, and let's actually save this. Obviously you can do the categories, you can change your name, transition, choose a translated item if you want to obviously translate it in different language, you can, and you simply save and close. You have basically your asset is ready and done. So you have the asset, you have the form, you have landing page, you have dynamic content, and I want to show you just a little bit further about different kind of campaign setup that you can do. And one of the form of different campaigns that you can set up, so let's just do a couple of examples, guys. I'm just going to create them so you can see what's possible. So let's go back on our form. Yesterday we just created a simple form, and we will kind of get back onto that just a second. And in here on the forms, as you can see, we created this. Obviously we didn't kind of publish it yet in anywhere, but you can see in here we're going to go basically create new. So in this, once more, I want you to kind of basically realize this. So we're going to create, let's say, 3 different campaigns. Let's say we got 3 different products, or 3 different niches, or 3 different categories, and we want to basically capture leads from, and also refine these leads so we can send them specific emails instead of just random stuff. Obviously, this each one of those campaigns, you can set it up the way you like. So in here, let's just call this one, I'm just going to call this campaign new. Let's say new first, or you could change it the other way around. You could say you could call this campaign A, right? I'm just going to put CPA 1. Let's say CP campaign CPA 1. All right, and then I'm just going to leave everything just right now. I just want to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to just basically leave it at this mode. We're just going to save close, and we're going to go back in our forms. Hi Doug, welcome. So I'm going to go clone this forms first because I have not added anything, and then I will tune them up. So let's just clone them. And this one we're going to select again, and this one we call the CPA2, and then we save and close, and then we go back on the forms. We can clone another one, and then select campaign, and this one's CPA3, so it's campaign 3. But this or can be categories for different products, different services, different niches, or different type of newsletters that you want to capture people in, that you can do this kind of stuff. So let's just save this one as well, as now we can see we have now really 4 forms, but really it's 3 forms. Let's say we have a form 1 is going to represent a, let's say, car niche, right? So form 1 is going to represent the car niche. Form 2 is, let's say, is going to represent a diet niche or something like that, or whatever you choose. Form 3 is going to be a, let's say, something like a digital niche, courses and etc or whatnot. So you can see the flexibility in here that really you can choose, be picky what you want to choose, and be specific what you want to create and set up. So it's totally up to you what kind of campaigns that you want to create and run. And of course, these are just for lead capture, guys. It's like you're going to capture the leads, and then it's going to basically, you're going to start creating a basically drip feed content, email content to these people, so you can filter them. And also, of course, whole idea is get them in and then turn them to the client and long-time subscribers. So we have our campaigns in here. Obviously in the forms, or they just kind of default. Let's just click on the CPA1. Let's go edit. So yesterday I probably didn't show you all of this stuff in here, so this evening we get a little bit more deep. So as you know, you want to kind of design the forms and stuff. On the attribute part in here, you can actually add your HTML. If you have some HTML on the form design side, you can simply just stick it your CSS in here, and the form should kind of be the CSS that you put in. Of course, the most important part really for me is not about design or what's look like, what it does. So if it does a good job, then really I don't mind, just blank form can do the job. So let's go ahead and actually see what is really you can do with this thing. So first, obviously on the lead capture forms, guys, um, you want really disable it on the search engines. You don't want search engine bots to go and kind of hop into your forms. That's one really kind of elements that you can feel free. You can do it, disable it on search engine, or I personally, if I was going live with this campaign, I would switch it off. I don't want the search engine index my capture form. Because you don't want to do that, and you don't want the bots signing up and things like that. I mean, we have some technology in place to prevent bots, but you never know. The Googles and Microsoft, they too clever, guys. So I just normally leave it index searched off. Render style, you can say yes from the template. That's if you add your attributes in here, you switch that on, basically yes. And of course, in here you have some themes you can download and play around with. It's up to you. But in this case, for now, we're just going to use this one as a kind of straightforward form blank and what site gives us. So next thing we want to do is literally go hit the fields, and the field area is important, and anything that you don't see it in this list, obviously I want to show you, this is important, guys. Anything you don't see it on this list here, you can go and you can create a custom field for. So as you can see in here, let's say I'm going to create a new custom field, and this custom field is going to be this is going to be later on like a tag for me. For example, I'm going to say CPA1, like, I don't know, let's say CPA1, let's say this one is going to be they kind of interacted, and we're going to say read, or we're going to say verified. That's either way you could put this. So for me, I'm just going to say interested, something like that. CPA1 interested, because they obviously signed up, and the object will be the contact. The type is going to be the text, and the core value in here is core group value, and default values, obviously you just leave that everything empty in here just like that. But there are two things obviously you can see. If you go to the object on the contact, could be the contact or the person, the company, so you can have two choices. And then on the text you can see what you kind of like, you still can add in here. I'm just going to leave it as a text type because that's what we want, so we can give them good point, raising points and all that kind of stuff. And once more, and this side of it, you can see, choose the order what you want. If it was obviously, if we create it, it will be double opt-in, for example, or new subscriber came in or opened and everything else. You can see all the stuff on this end as well. So the same kind of fields that you can see and utilize. And also you can use is unique identifier, and you could say yes, this unique identifier will be, if you go over it, set to yes if this field is a unique identifier for the contact, i.e. email, username, social media handle, etc. So you can also switch that on, and obviously give you warning because you need to fill it in, but do not worry if you get in this, guys. You just stating this is belong to this specific campaign and a specific identifier. If they did some sort of actions on the form, that this will kick in. And of course the whole idea is really to control this with the tags, and I will show you also where you can make the tags in just a second. So you can also do kind of this if it's required or not. Visible on a short forms, you can make it visible or not. I normally just leave it not visible. Visible on a short form, you can also say no if that's what you want. Publicly updatable, you just say no, you don't want public update, this is only you. And visible on forms, you can also switch that on, say is not visible. So these are kind of important parts, guys. Visible for segments, you could say that, but obviously you will use a segment, so you could say it's visible for segments. And of course visible with unique identifier and is published. Normally this way you can kind of, let's say I subscribe to your form, you send me an email, you don't want to send me which segment I am part of. If I am kind of being marked as, let's say, is not active members or something, so you don't want the reader, basically when you send an email, to be able to see this kind of stuff. So that's how you can tune your forms in. And of course there's a lot more into this. You can also group them, as you can see in here. And basically if you're setting up this way, you're good to go. You just simply save and close, and the machine will save our basically this specific custom field. But sometime maybe not save it because you haven't kind of not created this part here with the warning. So you could create some follow-up and tags, and then identify this, let's say is a new sign up. You can switch that off obviously and then refresh. This will save, guys. So sometimes it will not save because you have error in here because it's missing part, which is kind of pretty nice. Let us know. So just give me a second. Let's see what happens in here. So we saved that, as you can see. I think if we go back on our form, so let's go back in our dynamic forms and let's click on this one. So now we have basically this form, we have some queued up stuff, and let's look at some of the fields, what you do. So as field wise, I showed you yesterday, you can add, obviously at the moment for this campaigns we just have a submit button. We can add an email, that is definitely validation required, and then you can obviously select your message and just be patient with it and add your thing. So we have email and submit, and if you want to obviously name, you can also add a name, and if you want to collect a number, you can also do that. So we can the name, you can put it in with text, so it's always text label, and here you can say first name, and then gives you the contact field, and then you select basically your first name tag in here. And validation for this, I want to be required, and we could also say thank you for validating your name. And the attributes, then you can see field HTML, you could say this was the form, you could label the attributes of this kind of interaction. Is really up to you. You can also do this both with a name and email, and also the behavior. Always display, you can do that if you want. Autofill data, you can also switch that on. Also you can show after X submission, if that's what they did. If they submitted already once or two times, you could notify them, hey, you already submitted and whatnot. You can also switch that on if you want. So for us, literally, we have this contact field, we added, and we had verification. As you can see, first name is now on asterisk, and you just drag them like so. Now we have this. And then if you want, obviously, add number. So I want to show you that part as well. Let's say we collect number. So in the number, you can select in here phone, or you can say number, and then on your contact field, you can see you will let me see if we have the email and the number. Hopefully we'll have it somewhere. Where is it gone? phone, right? So we have phone, and we want validation required on the phone. And then obviously in here you can say thank you for validating your number, and attribute and everything else. You could also do that, kind of, if you want to have some more behavioral stuff, you can do that and switch them on. And then you add this, and then now you can see we have this phone. And then if you click on the form here again, you'll get back in here, so you can go back on the contact field, and if it's a company you can put a primary company. If it's an individual, then you can basically change, instead of company form, as you can say primary company, there should be another number in here, number, just number like for the phone. But if you don't see that specific tag on here, guys, you can also make that, yeah, in here. So in this way you can update it, and this time will be just phone number of that person instead of company. So if you want to, obviously first name, email, and number is up to you. So sometime if you're doing SMS text, obviously this is useful, and basically we have this now ready. And then the action side of this form, let's have a look at this. And this form is going to be sent basically email to email result or form results to people. We're just going to say send email to user, and this will be CPA first email, let's say, and let's say this was the one, my CPA first email. And you choose your name, you don't choose a kind of your sport name, and you add. So literally you have to make that email, by the way. So every time somebody gonna opt it in, they will end up, obviously we're going to set up an email, and that's the email they will receive. And the email, when you kind of add an email, you can always hit here enter, and you can always go and change the email in here, or make a new one, or edit brand new email obviously on your editor, and you update. So that way you can, if you made a mistake or something, can easily kind of change on the form side of stuff. This basically it. And when you're done, make sure that is obviously published, and of course we want to disable it, and we want really not use any of the other stuff, but just straightforward form. So we have this form. And yesterday you saw, let's go and actually open a tab on a landing page. Let's just bring this a little bit closer, as we did this yesterday here, and we did create a thank you page. But remember, we're doing 3 campaigns. Be ideal that we have 3 pages, this forms be in 3 different places. But sometimes that can get kind of rowdy and stuff, that you don't want to create too many forms and stuff. But essentially, to really separate everything up, you have to have a setup for it. So there is another ways that for sure you can have a multiple campaign being run by single form, is really up to you. So you can do that. So we had this page up yesterday. Let's go ahead and edit. So let's get back on our builder. So this is our basically silly landing page. So we're going to have another section in here, so we can test our form in here. I'm just going to add a couple of sections, and let's so to have a little bit more space, let's add a text, and let's go back in our forms. I think it was Tuesday test form, CPA. Let's just see which one. Let's get the CPA one. So this is the one we just edit, and we're just going to get automatic, and we're going to get a wireframe. So let's click on here, and we add our code in. So obviously in here we not this, but where did it go? Where is our code on? So let's just copy this, and let's paste that instead. So this is the iframe we just doing, as you can see, on almost whole length, and we hit save, and we save and close. By the way, first time when you're doing it, when you open it up as like this, like yesterday I showed you, you see we'll just have a code in here. We don't have any form. So in this form you can see we also added GDPR, but on this one you can also add it if you want to. For that, just watch the yesterday's one and you can pretty easily implement GDPR. So to basically see it, our basically landing page here, we're just going to click edit, and all we want to do is literally get back in and stretch our form in here so we can see all the fields. So you can see like that. Obviously for this, if you, let's say I want to just have this form stand out a little bit, not totally white on white page, and you can go to decoration, and as you can see, it says background color. I can just change this to something like so, maybe not that dark, but as you can see, something like that, and save and close. And now if we look our page, and we have nicely designed form, and you can see like obviously you can still re-edit this form, make a lot more nicer, and also you can stretch this the other way. It will give you like full kind of size like we did yesterday. So these are essential parts that literally you need to do in order for you to able to control many different categories of leads you capture, because previously we just capture everything through one form is not very kind of flexible for us to segment people afterwards. So is nice actually to segment people with a form to start off with the automation, so you can really focusing on who is really interacting with the forms, for example, who's interacting with the setup, your funnel, who's not, and that way you can actually see what's going on like in your automation. So this is the basically way that you can do this stuff and set up many different forms for different things, guys, as you do not have really any any kind of like limits that how many you can create. So let's go back on the second form. On the second form I want to show you something a little bit more interesting. So let's go back on edit. So we saw like basically our actions in here. You can see like what is available. Remove contact from do not contact is one of the defaults in here. Basically when we set up campaign we use, did they downloaded this asset we given them, did we post the results to another, we can post result to another form, and we can send them an email, and of course send them form result. So the whole idea is when we send in them really any of this, you make sure that you already make some of them in your kind of archives, and same as with an email and asset as you saw. But really what you want to focus in here is just if you wanted get this people to verify, kind of like click on that GDPR thing, you can do. And of course you can also add different type of forms in here. So like you could add a social login stuff, you can redirect them, they can social login, but really I don't kind of like recommend that, guys. The simplest form is to kind of just get a name and email, and sometimes you maybe just need email, but really ideal scenario for the customization, so we can specifically write in specific messages, is best to do is literally collect the name and number and really much information that you can with these things. So to kind of rewind back on yesterday part, you can do the recapture if you want, you can do the basically kind of checkbox radio, and of course you can do your description area, and obviously you can do your email anyway. So when you're doing like your checkbox, once more, because like let's say you wanted to be the GDPR accepted and have a button, and you want basically this specific label in here does the job. So you can go later on to the properties, and you can add basically, you could say yes, and this is yes, On the properties you add, and then you see in here we have this radio button. But if you want to change this radio button to a kind of different thing, so you can click on this. It will take you back in here, and you can see the attributes in here. So on the attributes, you can actually add a CSS class in here, so you can create a different kind of buttons. Could be verify me, could be really anything you want, depending on your CSS. You can put that in here. And of course, the field container attributes, you can see you can also add HTML class. Is literally is up to you. You can make this the way you want. So you can check the radio box checkbox, and every question you have in here, you go over it. It tells you exactly what it is, like wrapping a div place around each label input and things like that. You can actually do that just the way the setup in here, as you can see. So we have for this function, what you need to do, you might not have this GDPR accepted field in your system. So the way that you do that, you go onto the custom fields, and I'm just going to make one. It's called this one. Let's call it can spam. I don't know. I'm just going to call it can spam confirmation. And then it's going to be, again, the object is going to be the contact, is going to be core part of the system. But if you don't want to this be the core part of the system, can apply other things, you can always just change this in here. You could make it personal, you could make professional, you can make social, but I'll just leave it as a core, and it is will be text type. And default value of this, as you can see, confirm with double opt-in, you can make that. And once more, publish yes, required visible no, that says no, visible on form no. I mean, you could say visible on form on the side if you want, and that's basically like so. You can leave that as you wish, and you just save and close. It takes a while, but I don't know, a little bit slow on my end, guys. But you get an idea what you can do with your different form setup in order for you to run really good automations on this lead capturing. So you can also add a different kind of campaigns. You can make a kind of cascaded campaigns. So one campaign could have multiple choices of things. Example, one campaign could say is kind of person is a new, and then is already in, or is unsubscribed, so to speak, that you don't want to contact anymore, and all that good stuff. So we have done that. I don't know what's going on here. I think save. Yes. So going back to this, back to the page. So when it comes to the page, one thing I didn't show you yesterday is about that dynamic content we built, guys. So the dynamic content part, really on the page in here, we don't have that function because obviously Moatic doesn't have it. But there is obviously the builder itself is within. Let me just go back on the next tab. The dynamic content builder, you can build it by itself into the components, and the way you add it to them, add it to places. There is a. Let me just check, see if I'm giving you the kind of exactly the correct short code. I'll show you just a moment. System codes. Just one second. I have a doc, guys, but anyways. 1 minute. So essentially will be what? Like what you want to do is like you can see every dynamic content that we create, and as if you categorize it goes, your category shows up like that. But in each one of them has this ID. Basically, you pull in. Let's say you wanted to add form in here, this form in here, and also when you kind of create a form, which is you can see that ID pretty easily, guys. Um, yeah, in here. Let me just go back on this component and form so I can show you. So let's say it was this form, and if you edit, and when you editing this form, when you basically editing and save and close. So when you go to the any of this codes, you will see it says ID equals 69. So basically you could say a form, obviously form ID equals 69, and the way that you add them in is literally you put it in your, you get it, let's say you get a text, you just put form equal, I don't know if my equal work, but really my keyboard doesn't work, guys. Just imagine this the equal, and then form IDs will be 69, something like this. So you just add like that and that will go. But obviously you need to put it form equal, right? But I'm just going to put plus in here so you know. My keyboard doesn't work, unfortunately. I can't find equal. Like doesn't really work. There you go, guys. This is simplest way that you can add your form and add basically your dynamic contents as well. So when you done this, guys, the next thing to do is obviously set up this campaigns for these things. So your campaign. So imagine I have these three forms, and let's go back on yesterday's campaign. I don't think I have anything on. I think the one we did, I must have deleted the guys or something. So we did campaign yesterday, right? I think it was this. Let me switch it off. Let's have a look. No, not this one. I don't think I saved it. Anyhow, let's just make a new campaign for this one. Let's just make new one. Again, I'm just going to leave it publish. I think I didn't publish and say this. So let's just call this one like CPA1. So we launch. We going to, I did segment yesterday. We're gonna first select our form here, and our form will be CPA 169 or something. Bit odd name. So here we go. So we add our CPA form, and you remember we did few things. So first, we can basically use this form and directly start setting up the campaigns, but that's not really the way to do it. The way that we want to do this, we don't want to control the campaign within the form. We want to control the campaigns within the segments. So you add a segment, which is yesterday's segment. We choose one, I think it was called Tuesday segment. Let's say it was Tuesday testing segment. This is the one. So we add that. So from here, we get really interesting. Now we can actually decide what we want to do. The first thing that we really want to do, let me just save this and save this first so we can get back. For sure. So let me go back on a system. Also close this page. And on the campaign part in here, as you can see, we have our form, we have our obviously list. They have to opt in and we put them in there. But what we want to do is we want to control the CPA form, and as well as the segment or the people that signing up, simply with tags. And then what you want to do, you just go literally where's this tab is, you create your tag, and let's say I want, say, anyone who has CPA new, right? And we will apply this tag, and you save the close. So you can see your tags will kind of show up in here. Where did I put it? Oh, it's there. Yeah, CPA, where did I put my CPA new? Yeah, that's the one. So as you can see, it says no contacts in here. So the ones that you can see, first email has so many contacts. You can see I kind of like tagged one in here has this kind of many contacts. Well, to just show you, after you apply tags, the contacts will show up that what tags you apply to them. And you can create literally any kind of tags in here that you wish. So you could say tag who is got CPA tag, apply this, who's got CPA 2 tag, apply this, who's got CPA 3 tag, apply this. In this way, basically you can drive these people through the funnel and in a way that you want, not really just random stuff. So you can control what happens to people signing in. So I hope this is kind of explained to you a little bit about tag. So again, so one thing we want to do in here, and we want to basically create condition, and in here contact tag, that's on the form, and we're going to call this one basically CPA, CPA new tag, right? And then the tag will be, as you can see, will show up in here when you done it, and that's basically it. You just apply immediately, and everybody now come to this. We have this tag CPA new, and also we want once more in here we're going to go back on our segments as well, and in here we're also going to apply that, and we're going to again once more select our CPA tag, and this one called CPA new. This is what we call this. So now we have basically tagged this form, and the people are going to come in and we're going to give them this tag, and now we have two options. Once we can, once more, the next thing we want to do is in here we're going to create a workflow. Basically you can control some automation from here, some automation from there, but the ideal scenario will be let just your form keep collecting, but your segments keep communicating. So we have this, and then obviously as soon as you get them into this segment, this is going to be first holding area. Let's call this one as your holding kind of area for this people. And then obviously we can also say email verified. You could add email verified tags. If it's not verified, you can add email not verified tag. And also if they are opened, read, or clicked anything, you can add those tags. And when you add all the necessary tags you want to add, then what you want to do is literally go ahead and set up your first email. Like you can say if they read, you can modify the contact tags after that, and it's really up to you how you set this campaigns up and how you can really modify them as well. So the first thing, obviously, we want, when they sign in, we want to add them to a do not contact, so we can see if they verify the email or not. And then when they are basically verified, then we want to give them a tag that literally you got to remove them from the do not contact list, so you can set up the email so email can go to them. So the first thing you also want to do, and is you go back in here, basically in here after this tag, and you can add that do not contact. remove from do not contact, so you can send this email up to them. So first thing we want to do is update the contact. So you can just leave that in here, everything will fill up by itself. You update contact. Now we have this tag, we have the update contact, and then now from the after update you will apply basically, as you can see, you can adjust contact points at this point because they now verified at this point. And then you also can change the stages, campaigns, and segments if that's what you really want. But also you can see in here, you can modify the tags. So in here I could say, no, this is not new anymore. CPA is a second stage. So he's moved from new, now he's kind of like warming up. And then also we want to do and remove them from do not contact. So this is what you can do, and then obviously the email you want to add and channels email. So this can get really interesting. You can also set up some cascading basically interaction campaigns. So you could have 1, 2, 3 type of things, or even more choices, or even more choices for different locations or different countries. You could have one for A country, one for B country. It's just literally endless amount of opportunities that you can refine in order to get this leads to the places that you want them to go and be interacting. So when you done this, literally do not remove contact once more. The whole idea is every action you making, the best thing to do so the machine really work very well, guys, and you make sure that you always apply update contact. So every action we're making, we're updating contact because based on the interaction. So when you update contact, obviously then in this stage you could set up and you can send that email that you set up. So let's say this was the first email that we're gonna kind of send to them, and this is going to be again immediately after they sign up, but while. So what we want to do in here with this email, literally you could send that this, because this first email you're going to send them, and make this first email always kind of marketing email, and then you have a couple more attempts to send it to them if they didn't get it, if they get it or didn't get it. You know, you get an idea. So you can make it two attempts or 3 attempts or 4 attempts, but really it's just best to do it on 2 and leave priorities normal, and you add. And the reason that you do that for this first email, so it's just in case they didn't receive it to confirm it, so you can send basically send second time. So this is way that is a little bit more correct that you can do it. So error campaign, at least 1 event is required, or sure. We will add an event too, but so you can see what happens. So we have basically form collecting for us. We have tagged that form. Anything comes in is going to be like new crew, and then we're going to push them to this holding kind of list. And after list in the list, we still give him the same kind of tag. And if they have this tag, and now this thing's going to happen to this kind of leads coming in, obviously we'll remove them now. We're going to contact them, and we're sending that email result to them. And when they get back, they should get back into the basically area. So let's see what says in here. So we can see. Alright, so this is what it says. So let's also make this. I'm gonna say do not contact, and then let's make this as email. Let's say em, and then reason needs to verify, right? And then you add that, and also you can add condition in here. So you can check the kind of contact segment in here if you want, change them at this point, but really you want till they go through the queue. You don't want to change anything in here. And you can also have add basically like has active notification and all this kind of stuff, has valid emails. So when they have valid email, obviously you can apply that after this update here as well. So this update in here is normally will represent that valid for the valid condition. So this is one way that literally you could set up infinite amount of kind of tagging, segment change, state change, and of course email change through all this. So go ahead and try some of this, guys. And once more, I don't want to make this too long, and we will continue on part 3 tomorrow. Um, yeah, to make a custom field in your analysis system. This video is included. All right, thank you, Doug, for letting me just know. Yeah, absolutely. This is pretty amazing, and of course, myself, I'm still guide learning the schematic stuff as well, and it's genuinely there's so much I kind of still don't know about the system because it's so vast and it's so much flexible, and the things that you can do is absolutely insane. So make sure that you get in and set up forms, set up basically assets, set up a segments, set up few emails, and start automating. And also, if you're doing it, obviously you just gotta lists. You can also set up some of those, redefine, basically refilter those leads, recapture them as a double verified leads for yourself, and grow nice lists. And once more, we will be jumping back into the live room, and join us. We have a little bit more in-depth on-screen conversation about this over the other side. Basically, when you done this, you save and close the builder. But right now, I'm having some updates going on my server, guys. But I will get back on in a proper kind of thing. But the reason, literally, you could allow this, and when you allow this, guys, and you save and close, this event stuff basically goes away, and you can relaunch. As you can see now, it's like your whole thing is saved, and you can save and close, and no errors. So when you have any errors, because literally it's missing parts, and that's all. So that's been said, happy sending, guys, and I will be making email and sending email for this evening, as I haven't done so far. So join us in the other side, and I will speak to you same time, same place tomorrow with part 3. And part 3, we set up things and then test, see how it goes. Take care, and see you tomorrow, guys. Happy sending.